Hey guys, it's Plum and welcome to a brand new speed build. So today I wanted to talk to you about my experience doing the tiny shell challenge by lilsimsie. So normally I shy away from shell challenges because they can be pretty intimidating, not gonna lie. But the idea of a tiny shell was just too tempting to pass up, so I did this. So the problem was I quickly found that it was a bit more challenging than I anticipated, especially since I had to decorate so much of the outdoor area, which is not my strongest suit because I ended up making this little cafe. But despite this, as I mentioned, I decided to turn this tiny shell into a beach cafe, which was a fun and unique challenge for me. So initially I wanted to make a tiny home, but since I've made so many homes in the past, I decided to challenge myself and create a community lot instead. And I have to admit, I think it turned out pretty well. But throughout the build, I ended up changing the color scheme quite a bit. Although I kept it mostly wooden. Towards the end, I found myself gravitating towards darker colors, which gave it a much more cozy feel, I think. And I also initially planned to only use the island living pack, but I ended up using several packs to make it right. And in the end, I ended up really liking this build, even though I didn't really have the chance to play test it. So there's a few wonky foundation pieces in the middle that I wish I could change, but I just for some reason can't. If I don't know, I just can't seem to fix them. I kept trying to delete it or just copying the stilts that I got, but I really can't. But despite all of this, I can see myself placing this beach cafe in the world and in my gameplay because I feel like it turned out to be pretty chill. But if I could change anything about it, it would probably change the color of the ceiling. But we all know that's not possible in this game, so I guess we'll all have to live with it. But yeah, I actually ended up really enjoying building in Solani too, because I never play in this world so much, and I don't know why, but I don't know, it just doesn't seem like a world that I want my Sims to live in. But it's a very beautiful world. I definitely bring my Sims here sometimes for vacation, stuff like that, but not for them to live in. I don't know why, but I guess it's just the realism for me. It just doesn't seem too relatable for Sims to live in a world like this, such a beautiful world like this. I mean, I will probably do so in a future series or something, but for now, for the current households that I have, it's probably not a good idea because I don't know, it just doesn't seem right to me. But as I mentioned earlier, I had to decorate some of the outdoor stuff more than I do usually, and I ended up really liking it actually. I mean, even though it kind of was a struggle for me because I just didn't know what to do, I was just adding a bunch of tables for people to sit in. So this ended up having a lot of tables, and I also added in some lounge chairs and stuff like that. And ooh, this little corner that you're seeing right now, I actually had a lot of fun with it, even though it was also a struggle, because it was too small to have a table, to have an actual dining table. So I actually just made it into a little lounge corner where people could just chat and stuff like that, and maybe they could get drink their coffee too there. I mean, because you don't really need a table to drink coffee. I mean, you also don't need a table to eat and stuff like that in The Sims, but I just think it kind of makes more sense to have this area for a cafe because they could just chill and talk there. And I ended up really liking that corner too. I'm gonna be adding some more stuff to that later. Also ended up putting a rug over there. And yeah, so this is what you're seeing now is just me putting signs throughout the build, the indoor. And I don't know, I think it looks cozy too on the inside because I wanted it to have a really cluttered vibe to it. And I don't know, I think I ended up achieving that. I mean, not to toot my own horn or anything, but I don't really build a lot of community lots, and this was really a challenge for me, but it was also really fun. And it was also kind of rewarding to see it towards the end because it just looked good, I feel, and it just looked lived in stuff. Ooh, this is the rug that I was talking about. I think it added a lot to its cozy vibe, and I just was looking for decor to make this look a little bit prettier because even though it was a tiny home, I mean, my builds always look empty, which was kind of always a struggle for me to just be able to fill in some stuff. And I guess this being a tiny lot ended up making things a lot easier for me, even though I said I have to like decorate the outdoor a lot more. But I think it helped that this was in tiny living and the world was just too beautiful to begin with. So I didn't really have, but I think it helped that this was an island living like in Solani, that the world was just too beautiful to begin with. And there was just like not much pressure on myself to make the world prettier, like the outside prettier. So that helped out a lot, I think. But also it being a community lot helped me too with like the landscaping and everything, because it kind of made sense. There were like that there ends up being like crates on the shore and stuff like that, and just like a bunch of trees, because I feel like if this were a home, like it wouldn't make much sense. Like I feel like it would be a lot more polished. I mean, it definitely depends on your house style, but I think it ended up making a lot of sense for this type of lot, because I don't know, imagine if this were in like in Willow Creek or something. Like I would have to do so much with landscaping and stuff like that, and that's also not my strong suit at all. Like I never know how to landscape stuff, especially if it's just like on land, because at least in island living like in Solani you can put like what are they called, like jet skis. So you could put those, and then you could put like boats or stuff like that, and then you could put like there's just a lot of stuff that you could put in the water that's just way easier for me to decorate, instead of like having like trees and bushes and stuff like that, because I don't really know how to do that. You know, I don't know, I just struggle so much with landscaping, and I just never know how to place bushes, because I don't know, I just struggle so much with that, because in real life I don't really see a lot of like landscaping in houses, especially where I live in. So I don't know, it's just a struggle for me unless I see like a really like polished house, like a really fancy house. But here it just makes a lot of sense to like put trees and stuff. I don't really know if this is like too realistic to have like trees in the middle of the beach, but you know, it initially wasn't allowed by the game, but Move Objects was on. So okay, and here you see me like again struggling to decorate the outside. I wanted to put like a bar in here or like a stall or something. I ended up putting a tiki bar there just for like realism, but I ended up really liking that too, because that added some lights too in the evening. And I also ended up changing some of this stuff on the tables, because right now those like candle thingies add some light but not too much light, so it was kind of dark in the end. But Sulani again is just a really beautiful world, and it was just, the lighting was just gorgeous. And even though these lights I ended up changing, they actually still look good in the evenings, I feel, but I ended up changing them for like island living lights that were just much brighter. So yeah, but honestly this shell challenge just made me rekindle my love for island living, because honestly, what a beautiful world, right? Like even the water looks amazing, like everything looks amazing. Like I tried doing like a personal legacy before, where I just had my sim, you know, like classic legacy style, where you start off with like 0 simoleons and you just try and build your way up. And I ended up having her live in Sulani, and it was just, I don't know, it was just so easy, because even though I had no house, like all of the community lots here have everything for you. Like there are like lounges in the beaches where you can nap in, and then there's like a grill somewhere in the beach, and then it was just like also beautiful that you wouldn't even feel you were homeless, honestly, because this was just a super beautiful world. But anyway, this is where I actually changed up the colors a bit to make them darker, and I think I ended up liking this a lot more than the color scheme that we had before. But yeah, I think the video is ending soon. If you want to place this lot in your game, I'm just plumtownie on the gallery, so you could just download that off of there. If you guys enjoyed this video, please give it a like if you did, subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.